Next up on Extreme Rules, we've got a steel cage match between Chris Jericho and Cesaro. Be sure to check out all previous matches from Extreme Rules if you haven't had the opportunity to yet on Bellman Productions. Chris Jericho, a multi-time world champion, a hell of a superstar for WWE, a legend in his own right, the only undisputed champion in history, the only man to beat Stone Cold and The Rock in the same night. But the man he faces, many are calling the future of the business. Undeniably one of the toughest guys today, arguably one of the most talented individuals today. Spectacle in his own right, Cesaro. Will he be able to take down the high-flying technical master in Chris Jericho today? That is the question, especially within a steel cage. All right, the bell is rung, and here we go. Another, what should be a great matchup. Cesaro already going to the middle rope, but Jericho not going to have any of it. Drags him right off, and this match will start off hot, as one may expect. Jericho floats on over. And this spinning neckbreaker, beautiful move, and Jericho, the Ayatollah of rock and roll, getting right into action to begin this matchup. Him and Cesaro getting into a hell of a feud following WrestleMania. And in a tag team match from this past SmackDown, Cesaro was able to get a victory in on Chris Jericho as part of a tag team match. Of course, Ryback and Randy Orton were involved as well. Randy Orton was Cesaro's partner in that victory, but Ryback had actually defeated Randy Orton earlier tonight in the tables match. Should have checked that one out. Cesaro looking to make the climb slowly but surely, and Chris Jericho is right on his tail, pulls him off, and then hits a flying forearm. Great maneuver by Jericho, and then a stop to the midsection, followed by another. Ooh, Cesaro with an arm drag, great reversal. And Cesaro, despite being a big guy, despite being very strong, is also technically gifted. And that's something that Chris Jericho obviously has as well, but Chris Jericho lacks the exact same strength, but makes up for it in speed. So this is a very well-matched contest right here, and there's a nice suplex there from Cesaro. He's climbing to the top rope, and oh, hits a flying clothesline right off the top. And Cesaro gonna play one into the crowd, referencing potentially the Cesaro spin, which you may see at some point in this match. Undeniably the most impressive feat of strength in professional wrestling today. Jericho able to reverse a couple of shoulder tackles with a heavy forearm into the corner. Jericho with a stomp to the midsection. Now looking for a suplex, and hits it to perfection. Jericho stomps away, but Cesaro's able to get out of the way and just decides to start climbing the cage. But Jericho's right on his tail again, not really sure what Cesaro's thinking there. Smacks the mat hard after getting yanked off, and then a heavy forearm from Jericho again. Jericho with a heavy kick to the back. Man, that must have hurt. And then another kick to the back. Cesaro with a heavy right, though. Man, that one connected. A reversal, though. Jericho with his own right hand. And then a kick to the midsection. And a DDT. Beautifully executed by Chris Jericho. The veteran definitely has the advantage in terms of experience. He's been in quite a few steel cage matches in his day, no doubt. Cesaro using the rope to get up, but Jericho with another neck breaker. Jericho just stalking Cesaro, waiting for him to get up, and it's reversed into an arm drag. Cesaro now picking Jericho off the ground, all of his weight, and up and over with a beautiful slam. I am not sure how Cesaro was able to do something like that. Wait a minute, Cesaro's got him. Here comes the swing. And he's revolving him, and the crowd is just counting along. Wow, 7 swings on Chris Jericho. The amazing part is he picks him straight up off the mat, lifts him over his head in a great slam to show off that strength, and then spins him around like a rag doll. And Jericho ain't no lightweight. He might not be the biggest guy. We've seen Cesaro swing guys like Khali already, amongst others. Huge man that you just never could see him being able to do that with. But he is pulled off the cage as Chris Jericho is able to get back up, and Cesaro his back just taking that much more abuse. Every time you climb that cage. Oh, and there it is, the code breaker, absolutely from nowhere. And now Irish whips him into the corner. Jericho in complete control with a clothesline out of the corner. And now Jericho is maybe going to make that climb to the top. Can Cesaro get up in time to get room? That's the question. Oh, Cesaro was able to get to him. He's up on the cage with him, trying to yank him off. It does a side slam from halfway up the cage, and that has got to hurt both guys. But Cesaro did it to save the match, a desperation move you need to make. Cesaro now pulling Jericho up, heavy right hands, 2 in a row, but Jericho reverses and hits a right of his own. And then another flying forearm. Chris Jericho really forcing the head of Cesaro here. Using a lot of force. Jericho is not afraid of anybody. He might not be the biggest guy, but he smashes the knee into the mat of Cesaro. Maybe working to weaken up the legs. Potentially hit the walls of Jericho and do that much more damage to Cesaro. Kicks him in the back. Hard, too. A heavy kick from Jericho. Now Chris is going to maybe make the climb. And Cesaro is using the ropes to get up. Can he get to him in time? He yanks down his leg and able to pull him down. And knee drop right across the skull. And then a kick to the midsection. Cesaro is really trying to use his power and strength, which is something that he has a lot of. There's no question about that. There's a kick to the midsection. Now DDT from Jericho. Very good back and forth action here between 2 great competitors. No question. Jericho, Irish whip into the corner. And then hits a clothesline. Stomp to the midsection. Cesaro is up to his feet though. Jericho drags him back to the middle of the ring. Now looking for another vertical suplex and hits it. Again, great strength shown even on part of Jericho here by being able to suplex the bigger man over his head. Now both guys trying to get to their feet. This match has reached a standstill. Great action here at Extreme Rules in a steel cage match between Chris Jericho and Cesaro. Back elbow by Cesaro. Then a right hand. Jericho leaning. Oh my goodness! He smacked face first off the cage. Cesaro with some heavy elbows, then able to whip him off the cage, and he went head first against it. Now Cesaro with a snap suplex to follow it up. Trying to weaken Jericho in every way, and it's not that hard to do when you're that strong. Now he's going to drag him against the cage here. Uh-oh. Tosses him off. Cesaro jumps off the middle. Oh, a Swiss uppercut off the middle rope. Straight to the face of Chris Jericho. And an unbelievable maneuver by Cesaro. Proving how tough, how strong, how resilient he is. He's taken a lot of abuse. Jericho has had a great match here. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Neutralizer! Cesaro in complete control. That might be enough. If he's able to escape the cage here, he will win this match. Cesaro is going to climb the cage. Jericho is moving though. Cesaro making the climb slowly but surely. Uh-oh, Jericho's gonna get him. He catches him. Side slam and is able to yank Cesaro off the cage. And then smashing the leg of Cesaro is Jericho. Great kick to the leg. Hell of a maneuver by Jericho. They're really weakening the leg of Cesaro in one move. And then an enziguri, a step-up enziguri. Unbelievable maneuver there again by Jericho. And smashing the knees again. It's really evident that Chris Jericho wants to work the legs for the walls of Jericho. Or at least to weaken up the legs of Cesaro, which are probably the strongest part of them. Unbelievable leg strength by Cesaro to be able to hold people up as he does. A couple of chops in the corner, just working the chest is Jericho. Able to pick him up. Jericho stepping back to his corner. And Cesaro with a big boot. And he is going to play to the crowd, teasing a potential spin once again. After all the abuse that Cesaro was taking in this match, and Jericho was taking in this match, I'm not so sure if a spin is the best idea. Snap suplex, though, from Cesaro is able to get him back in control. And Cesaro should spend a little less time dilly-dallying and a little more time getting out of this cage. I think he's spending a little too much time trying to focus on Chris Jericho. DDT by Jericho, and that's exactly why you do not want to take too much time against a veteran like Chris Jericho. He knows how to take you down, and there it is, a code breaker from Chris Jericho, and that might be enough to win this match. Will it, though? Cesaro is climbing to the ropes. He's able to get to his feet. He drags him off. Cesaro with a headbutt. Now picking him up off the mat. Cesaro, a great slam. Another great sign of strength. He just took a code breaker. Jericho with a reversal and a heavy left hand. And a forearm. Y2J trying to climb back into this match after he just got slammed over Cesaro's head. His back has been on fire, I'm sure, this entire match. Even his face going straight off the cage on a couple of occasions. Ducks under there, hits a back elbow. And Chris Jericho is looking good. Now drags him back. Up and over. Unbelievable. Chris Jericho showed great resiliency throughout this entire contest. Resiliency that I'm not very familiar with seeing here in a steel cage environment. And another DDT. Y2J in control. Trying to regain his composure. Cesaro climbing toward Jericho. Maybe even going to use him to get himself up, but Jericho gets him up instead, and it's a code breaker, another one. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should probably do it. Cesaro trying to give chase as Jericho gets to the top. And Jericho's up and over. I don't think Cesaro's going to be able to get him. And Jericho is going to win this match. That's it. Chris Jericho has defeated Cesaro and climbed out of the cage. That code breaker was enough to get the job done. He hit 3 code breakers on Cesaro throughout this match. It was an unbelievable contest. Cesaro looked very good, but at the end of the day, when you're against a wily veteran like Chris Jericho, it's a hard victory.